Why, hello there. If you don't already recognize my sultry voice, this is DJartt of the High Score 510 podcast. First of all, I would like to thank you for listening to our show. Second of all, I want to remind you with a shameless plug of our Patreon page. Join our growing community and help support an indie podcast. The perks of being a patron, you ask? Well, let me tell you. Why, Jesus will bless you. So go check out patreon.com/highscore510. And for the price of a tall pumpkin spice latte, you can help Taco Pablo relocate to Wichita, Kansas. Regardless of which, we appreciate your support and hope you enjoy the show.
You are listening to High Score 510, where sports and comedy remain some culture.
What's the hardest route to cover in football? Tell me, please. I keep hearing it said.
The post route.
Cover?
The post.
Or a crossing route. A drag,
route.
A crossing route.
Or a pick.
Pick plays are impossible to cover as long as they don't call penalty and you do it right.
Yeah.
But crossing routes. Crossing routes. Crossing routes. Crossing routes. Crossing routes. Hey, Cowboys Nation. You know what? I need y'all to just put signs up next time y'all go to a game with the whiteout with some stupid ass motherfucker. I knew they was gonna lose. Like, we're doing a whiteout on the field. What the fuck are y'all doing? What's that gonna do? What is that gonna do? Nothing. You know what else? Jerry Jones pissed me off. That goddamn way he built that motherfucking stadium. He's like, man, we got a home field advantage. Well, can't nobody see the fucking ball because we got a glare coming into everybody's eyes. You know what's undefeated? Time. The second thing that's close to being undefeated is motherfucking sunlight directly in your own pupils. You can't see shit. You ain't gonna see shit. You can't look in the sun and be like, hey man, I was able to see through that sun. No, the sun is undefeated in that way. Why the fuck you got a goddamn stadium where it's fucking up your own receiver's ability to see the motherfucking ball coming at him? Motherfucker ducked out of the way because he couldn't see where the fucking ball was. What the fuck is that? All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the High Score 510 podcast. Fuck the Cowboys. They play like a bunch of poo-butt motherfuckers. Get mad at DallasCowboys.com or any other place that you want to see some undisciplined, bullshit-ass motherfuckers trying to play football with a star on their helmet where they getting hyped up by an old-ass cracker. Who put salt on a goddamn breakfast goddamn sandwich. A breakfast sausage. Who put salt on a breakfast sausage? That shit already got how many grams of sodium? This motherfucker over here hyping up a team. Ain't got no goddamn leadership. Anyways, and we are here with...
This is AG3 coming at you faster than Novak. Oh shit! I got a magic moment in my intro. Djokovic getting kicked out of Australia.
That wasn't quick at all. That was like a month-long melodrama.
Seriously, it's really working on it.
I mean, yeah, it was the opposite of quick.
How many times you practice that in the mirror?
I didn't practice at all. I don't know how I got it out. I struggled with the first part, the easiest part of the name, the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
Your mother's dick is bigger than yours.
That's right.
Damn, Jared.
And we are here with
everybody's friendly trucker, Captain P, coming at you faster than this bad coaching and John Madden rolling over in his grave.
If you go to Japan or any Asian country, they can turn a television into a watch.
And Reggie White rolling over in his grave.
And we are here with...
Hey, what's going on? This is Brandon, a.k.a. Taco Pablo. I feel like I just watched Little Giants. I watched the Cowboys get beat by a group of undisciplined, rag-em-tag-em, non-football-playing football players.
Yeah, if your team won, you can enjoy me with a victory cigar.
You smoke cigars?
You're calling Black and Mild cigars?
I'll be on the miles. I'll be on the miles with that yank hard yesterday, Skip.
Yeah, he about to be on them miles real hard tomorrow.
He gonna be on the miles. Oh man, talking to Skip, he gonna be all on the miles.
Yeah. And my name is Jared, aka DJartt, and I'm pissed off today. So you know, if I don't sound like I pep in my voice, it's because I'm pissed off about these goddamn playoffs. It's a double dipping of pissed off. The Niners won and they beat the Cowboys. So Cowboys lose, Niners win. It's gross. And Cowboys need to get some new niggas on their squad.
They're getting them some new niggas.
You know what I'm saying?
Jerry Jones gonna get him some new ones next year.
Jerry Jones, you need to get some new coaches because you know what I'm saying. It's terrible. Jerry Jones is probably thinking this up in the box.
Get one of these niggers, please. I'd take him home, but I have a dog.
Cowboys out there playing on that field.
There's enough niggas in here to make a Tarzan movie.
Undisciplined ass.
I got a question for your Cowboy playoff watching. Like, do you watch that with somebody else? Because just as invested as you are, I hope.
No, I didn't watch it with somebody else because I didn't want to sit there and be getting pissed off and having to deal with looking at other motherfuckers being like, man, your team winning it for us.
Now, would you be able to watch a game with me, Jared? I've been told I'm good to watch a game with.
Yeah, except you got the Rona and that white bitch. That white bitch over there be getting on my nerves.
Come on, man. Nah, because I don't cheer. You know, I don't cheer no matter what happened in the game. I don't cheer, clap.
You test positive, A-Ron?
Nah, he just talking shit because I was choking on this apple I was eating.
Oh, man, I tested positive this week, which
you did.
It's so felt weird. Like I felt like I was getting sick all week, but then I was like, oh. Then Dear got real sick, and she's like had fever, not feeling good. So I was like, let's get tested. But she tests negative. I test positive. I'm like, oh, what's that? I don't feel bad.
Are you feeling?
I'm very vulnerable, man.
And I was like, no, that's kind of messed up, Brandon. They gave you that one, but that's hilarious.
Well, inside I felt like Tyrese talking about, am I doing something illegal?
What more do you want from me?
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad you're feeling okay, Brandon.
Oh man, it's one of those things you just never know, like what's gonna happen. Like you're just like, oh, how's my body gonna react to this?
Man, it's amazing that none of us that work at this school testing positive the way shit been acting in the district.
Yeah, man, I feel like every day I go to work, it's like trying to avoid the Rona is harder than
trying to block out Zion Williamson for the last Popeye chicken sandwich.
No, that's impossible now. You seen the way that fool look? He's the only person that made me look like I lost weight during the pandemic.
Dude,
I try to take pictures next to Zion so I could send them to my mom, talking about, oh, mom, I'm doing well.
I know what we need to do. We need to get Brandon into that NBA shop and get him a red Pelicans jumpsuit and walk him around and, you know what I'm saying, tell people to pay for autographs and photos.
Man, they going to look at Brandon and be like, Zion lost weight, man. He ready to come back.
But in news this week, AG3's favorite artist, Drake, was in the headline.
Drake?
Apparently, Drake is being sued by an IG model who claimed that after a sexual encounter, a protected consensual sexual encounter, Drake went to the restroom, took the condom off, and threw it away. Later in the evening, she snuck into the restroom and took the contents of the condom and tried to pour it in her vagine, prompting her to be hit with immense pain and burning sensation in said area. It turns out Drake had emptied some hot sauce into the condom as a extra insurance of spermicide to make sure that the woman did not do what she ended up doing. Whatever.
Man, who the hell is he having sex with?
An IG model. I'm not going to say her name because you know what, Aaron, you said that these people want attention, so I'm not going to give them attention.
Don't give it to them.
IG model is suing Drake. Drake on an IG post said, you can have your 15 minutes of fame. I'll take the other 23 hours and 45 minutes.
Man, I'm waiting for his 15 to end up.
First of all, I'm surprised Drake is not your favorite rapper after this story.
I know. I applaud him for what he did to protect himself and his sperm and for getting sued and making payments. I commend him. I would give him an applaud for that. I will applaud, I would give him much applause. Like silent ones, like, right? Okay, like, yeah, Drake, that was smart. But it's like, dude, as much money you got, why are you sleeping with the bottom of this barrel right now, right?
You can't trust nobody. And you play the games on the schedule. You talk to who's around.
I ain't heard that in a long time. That made me hype right there, Jay. I might go to 389 right now. I might have to triple mask up, but I might go.
I might feel like escargot, but right now I'm at Denny's, so I'm going to get these pancakes. That's how you do.
But what do you guys think about Drake's protection of his very valuable sperm?
His sperm ain't worth it, man. Them jeans so watered down by his half Canadian ass. Them jeans, there ain't gonna be no basketball player. We seen him hoop. You ain't trying to get them jeans. You trying to get them jeans in you just so you could trying to get the jeans in your house so you get some child support. Drake, if this would have been slavery, they wouldn't allow Drake to reproduce.
Tell me. He didn't just say that.
I guess my question is to women out there, is this part of the playbook, I guess, for these type of women? And I'm not going to, paint all women with that broad brush because this is an extreme thing to go take a motherfucker's used condom and try and pour the shit into your coochie. That's wild to me. But I, think that's
it's been done before.
Yeah, I know it's been done before. But like, what part of playbook? What kind of playbook is that? That's that. So I need some of my women out there to hit us up with what's going on with that playbook, because that don't seem like that. That makes me it makes me like be like, this is why motherfuckers be. This is one of those things where niggas will be like, man, this is why I'm a dog this woman or dog women, because they think y'all running some kind of hoochie coochie. Let me get some of this condom sperm playbook on them, and that's
well, I'm just gonna say this is something only the I would say let's call it the 5% have to really deal with. Mm-hmm. I don't know if a woman's trying to get pregnant by some guy who works at Kenny Shoes or
exactly. I ain't even seen it. If a motherfucker's still working at Kenny Shoes, then he got problems right now.
Just to be clear, none of the Negroes on this show have to worry about this happening to us.
Nope. I will keep hot sauce in my pockets. Because think about it. If she sued him for child support, he can afford it. If that happened to me, I get sued for child support. Motherfucker, I'm living out of my car.
No. We making things work. We working things out. We stay together.
Yeah, I'm stuck with someone for 18 years. I don't even know.
Well, the thing is about the hot sauce. Like, why couldn't he just rinse it out in the sink if he's going to the bathroom anyway? Was not expecting there to be a sink. Like, he definitely has to keep hot sauce just in case wherever this happens.
I just want to know, is Taco Bell gonna rename a hot sauce after Drake after this?
Man.
That Drizzy Diablo,
that Drizzy Fire, man. We got that Drizzy Fire. It might not taste good on these Taco Bell wings or the tacos. Yeah, boy, they sure do kill some sperm in the just carry a little thing of spermicide with you. What's wrong with this nigga? See, he got me using the N-word twice. We brought up Kanye and now him. I used the N-word twice in one show. I'm upset. Who you gonna bring up next? Michael B. Jordan. Just. I know you mad, Jared, but you ain't got to try to bring us to this level. What you gonna do to piss off Pedro? Tell him his truck looked like a reject out of Purple Rain. What you gonna do to piss off Brandon, man? Rip up a cardigan on the show, a sweater vest. Send him a ripped up sweater vest.
I'm gonna release a horde of moths into his closet.
Order a horde of moths by Amazon.
Start taking dating advice on TikTok. That's what he's gonna start doing.
Well, anyways, Drake with the heady play, say not being confined to having a unexpected or unplanned or unwanted child on his hands. I gotta give him a little bit of kudos for this. Saying at the same time, he still ain't shit, but at the same time, I'm sure he pays somebody who's like, hey, I always have my hot sauce on hand, the condoms I like, whatever lube and other kinky weird shit, had the bag set on the hotel table, and I'm gonna get freaky with this skeezer. I could call her a skeezer, right? I'm not being derogatory to her.
No, you're not being derogatory.
We call Drake a nigga for doing nigga shit, but she a skeezer.
We'll allow in this instance based on what she did post.
Brandon, will you be a part of this conversation?
I'll be part of this conversation.
This week, a report came out that says 2 cannabis compounds can stop COVID from binding to your cells. Urban legend that spawned at the beginning of COVID, where people were saying, hey man, I smoke enough weed, it stops COVID, might actually be truthful. What do you guys think about that?
Man, that sounds stupid as shit, man. Wait, no, man.
It says
come
that
to me in about 2 months.
2 cannabinoid acids commonly found in hemp varieties of cannabis can bind to spike protein of coronavirus and prevent infection of human cells. We got some new alternative medicine. Now we can see probably a bunch of right-wingers want to legalize weed, which will help us legalize weed. So I'm kind of down for this because they were like, man, I'm gonna take my hemp protein pills, I'm gonna take my dewormer, I'm gonna take my adamantium, I'm gonna take my Clorox, and I'm gonna take my my Cialis. I'm gonna be good on this COVID.
I'm gonna just go ahead and say the more things people try to convince me of about weed, the less I believe. Like I would say every week, apparently weed can cure glaucoma, it can cure COVID now. It makes you a better driver. I've heard that it helps you study. I've heard it makes you a better lover. These are just some of the things people have already told me about cannabis. And I just believe any of it. I just believe you just want to get high, Get high.
Yeah, whatever happened to just smoking weed to get high? Yeah, the problem is, with this whole medical part of cannabis, right? Yes, it is an anxiety relief. It does have those type of effects, the relaxing effects, things like that. A little bit of muscle relief. But you know what? You can't go ahead and smoke COVID after breaking your leg and be like, man, this shit helping me heal.
I heard that the cannabinoids, there is a gland. We have a glandular system, which is a cannabinoid system. Cannabis and cannabinoids are good to our entire health. Now, whether or not you can get as much of it from smoking it or eating it, or if, it needs to be even more, what is it, condensed or filtered into specific things that you can take by pill or whatever, big pharma.
You talking about get a cannabis booster shot?
You know what? I would be down. I'd be like, hey man, come get this cannabis booster shot. I got Tink over here, bro. You can get your shots right here.
Get your passports.
Pedro, you are a resident non-alcoholic, non-regular pharmaceutical drug taker on the show. What do you think about the prospects of weed being a legal way or a positive way for you to avoid the COVID?
Anything plant-based is going to help you stay healthy. If I don't know about smoking it, but what I do for health is when I need energy or I need to feel better, I snort cocaine. And I get tired, I'm going to come down from that high and do heroin. So to me, those are the safest ways to go about naturally doing things. Now, the heroin may not be so natural because it was mixed in a laboratory on New Jack City. But yeah, I'm all for the cannabis study. I don't know if we have enough time to believe that, but I just, like Aaron and Brandon said, I just think niggas want to get high.
Whatever happened to just getting high?
In a couple of years, as COVID becomes more and more just a regular thing, where it's like we gonna catch it, and everyone's gonna catch it, on a regular basis. It's gonna be the new flu-ish thing, which is my conspiracy, by the way. Conspiracy brother says that this is just a manipulation by Big Pharma to create something that everyone's going to then say, hey, I got to go get my flu shot and my COVID shot. And they really just trying to get more flu shots out there because they know the flu is worse than COVID. And they know that the flu is the thing that everyone is sleeping on getting they flu shots. So, man, we could quadruple, quintuple, septuple our amount of flu shot takes, man. We just going to make that money. They're going to do COVID and a flu shot all together. Conspiracy brother.
How like the white man wants to keep us?
Klay Thompson is back. The Golden State Warriors are back. They got their Klay Thompson, they got their Steph Curry, and they got their Draymond Green combination with Iggy. But Klay Thompson is back, and he is part of a growing list of professional athletes accepting Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as part of their contract payment. Do you guys think that Klay Thompson is going to give the Warriors the boost that they need to make another title run?
No, they need another center that can take some fouls and catch some lobs. That's all they need. That's what the fuck they need. There's definitely something wrong with Steph this last few weeks. I feel like he's not.
The last month.
Yeah. The main thing is, like, we come in there, we get beat up by every big man in the league. Dude, Atlanta, John Collins had like 24 points against us. Djokovic is going to score 30 points. And you can't say that it's all just Draymond Green's going to come in there to stop whoever the center is, because that's a lot on him. But we just need somebody who's 7 feet tall, who's going to eat up some fouls and catch some lobs. Like basically we need JaVale McGee. We need somebody who's going to get there, give 5 hard fouls, give their 20 minutes, catch a couple lob balls, and get off the court. That's all we need.
I agree. I think they're hoping that James Wiseman can be part of that answer, but I think they need to definitely make a trade to beef it up, because Looney is a solid, just like basketball player, but his body is like, he's like a tin man when he moves around. He doesn't have fluidity. He's not explosive, but he's just a good, solid player that you can, count on for, playing solid defense, rebounding a little bit, and having some semblance of a mild post game. But otherwise, you need somebody who's athletic and keep them honest, and they don't have that right now. Even if Wiseman was back, you need some depth there. And Bielika is not that. He's a good passer out of the high post, but he's not He's not somebody who can keep the defense honest when they run the screen rolls with Steph, or he's penetrating and looking for somebody that's going to either make the defender come to him or stay back and he can get easy little floaters and layups.
It seems like Iguodala plays one game and then he's hurt for the next two. I don't know if that's a strategy by them or if he's really just needs to retire.
It's a strategy called getting old, Brandon.
It's a strategy called, aging, and it's a strategy called learning under a coach that, carried an aging dynasty, so to speak, for, several years beyond when his expiration date with the Spurs. And so I think Steve Kerr is running a lot of what Greg Popovich is running. That, you gotta rest these players. So that's why Otto Porter missing games left and right, because they're like, man, we just need to get these guys to the playoffs where they can play meaningful 25 to 30 minutes a game if necessary. It's good for developing your younger talent. The Warriors started so hot. I feel like they're at a good spot where they're able to now start getting, healthy as they go along. They got their young players getting a lot of experience. So those guys will not feel as much pressure or not feel as foreign to what's going on. You get to playoff situations, especially if you're running just an offense, not just a screen and roll, pick and pop, isolation style offense like a lot of these teams are running. So it bodes well if Wiseman does come back. Maybe right for the trade deadline, they can find somebody else who's a young, athletic guy who can run a pick and roll and just keep teams honest.
Who did they trade then?
Who do they trade? That's where it's tough. Trading draft picks is probably the best thing they can do without, disrupting the players that they've been developing and bringing along. Who might be a guy that has some value right now, but you kind of need that depth just in case Klay, has a setback or Steph.
Can I ask you, why do you need to make a trade? I got lost here.
Brandon brought up a point about the Warriors struggling against athletic bigs and bigs, just teams with more size than them. That's been what's actually been.
They always have.
They always have, but they had
not like this.
They had Festus Ezeli. They had guys.
Andrew Bogut.
Andrew Bogut was the best.
But they had guys that could go out there and at least make a big guy work hard. Of course, you're going to struggle with the Joker, but they struggle against, like Brandon said, people who are like semi all-stars, like guys that's going to make
Jared
one
Jackson.
or two in their career. Yeah, they struggle against guys that's going to make like one or two all-star games in their career. They like making them look really good, and they're not.
I still don't think they need a trade. I mean, they're going to get Wiseman back.
Well, I don't know if it's a trade. I think it might be a buyout situation where a center becomes available.
Yeah.
Well, because the same thing happened the last two off seasons, right? So with Klay Curtis Achilles at the beginning of the season, they were going to make a run that year, and they decided to trade for Oubre to sort of salvage the year. And this past off season, people didn't think Klay was going to come back, so like there was like a lot of free agents that basically said, "We're not coming to Golden State because we want to go to another team where I either get more playing time or have a chance to win a championship."
There's an option for that. I think that might be an option, but the buyouts, it's hit or miss at times. You don't always get players being bought out of contracts.
As long as it's not altered.
He's
actually playing well. Yeah, they're not gonna buy him out. Blake Griffin gonna come available probably.
He's a dunker that can't dunk. What are you?
Yeah.
I'm being honest. The people that look like they're gonna be available are Blake Griffin, maybe Marvin Bagley, but it looks like with the new coach they like Marvin Bagley.
Well, do you think the later Lakers trade Dwight to somebody who ends up releasing him?
Man, them Lakers, that team's so old, Brandon. The only team older than the Lakers is the Super Bowl halftime show. That's the only team older than the Lakers. That's all. And I don't want to see neither one of their old asses. You know what it's like? It's like when you got the people like Super Bowl halftime show. All these artists I like back in the day. I don't know if I want to see them perform right now. I mean, that's what the Lakers look like. They look like a Temptation revival.
He ain't me. He ain't no David Ruffin.
Get him out of here now.
No, without David Ruffin, y'all ain't nothing. You hear me? You fake irritation without David Ruffin.
It is the NFL postseason. That means it's also time for coaches to get fired. 8 different coaches have been fired or resigned this season. The most notable names: John Gruden resigned. Urban Myers was fired before the end of the season. The Broncos ended up firing Vic Fangio. The Vikings let go of Mike Zimmer. The Bears got rid of Nagy. Brian Flores was a surprise fire. The Giants cut Joe Judge. He got that go. And the Texans were the last one to fire David Culley. I guess my question is, who deserved to get fired, but who was given a raw deal?
2 people got raw deals. The rest are all deserving. The people that deserve to get fired: John Gruden, that's a forced resign. That's a firing, resigning, which he deserved to get fired. Urban Meyer shouldn't have never been hired. Vic Fangio couldn't win at all. Couldn't win at all. He was a defensive coach that showed he didn't even know there was an offensive side of the ball, it looked like. Mike Zimmer, you know what? Mike Zimmer got fired. His is close to being a raw end of the deal. His problem was he never wanted Kirk Cousins. They gave all the money Kirk Cousins. He sacrificed his defense. He figured he could coach up the defense since they wasted so much cap space on offense. Matt Nagy we know he should have been fired a long time ago.
They also paid the wrong receiver. They should have kept Diggs and let Thielen go.
Yeah, they paid the wrong.
Like this beautiful white man.
The problem is
white neighborhood.
The problem is they knew in the draft they could get a right. It was easier to replace Diggs with his type than it was. You couldn't have Diggs and whatchamacallit. They're basically the same type of receiver.
Justin Jefferson, yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's better than Thielen, who's not doing shit.
Yeah, but they're basically the same type. It would have been an argument. It would have been all kind of shit. Who knows? Joe Judge deserved to get canned. They should have came out there as soon as he ran that 4th and 9 quarterback sneak with 5 tight ends. They should have went out their field and just pulled them off then. We'll flip a coin, we'll draw straws on who coaching. This fucker got to go now. That would have showed your team a lot of heart. You did that. David Culley kind of did wrong. They're in that bad situation, no quarterback. I thought he did pretty well. Black coach finally gets a job with no quarterback, no talent around. He got kind of the raw end. Only gave him 1 year. He did well as well as I thought. I thought they wouldn't win a game looking at that team. And then number 1 was Brian Flores. He got done wrong. That was a power struggle. He never wanted Tua. He wanted to draft Herbert. The owner wanted Tua. He tried to talk the owner out of it. Brian Flores originally, remember, he first came to that team. They were expected to win 0 games. They ended up winning their last 5 games in that year and were very competitive. And he traded away players like Mika Fitzpatrick, accumulated draft picks, and then they didn't let him buy the ingredients, right? They got Tua. He didn't want Tua. He wanted Deshaun Watson this offseason. Remember, he was like, who cares about all the legal troubles going on right now? Let's go ahead and trade for him. And the general manager and the owner wouldn't do it.
I think Zimmer didn't deserve to be fired. I think, what can you expect a new coach to do that Zimmer wasn't already doing, right? Like
I agree with you.
You're super competitive. If they and he's not necessarily an offensive guy. If you force an offensive coordinator on him that you like you can make that work. You still got Kirk Cousins, but they've shown that they can draft people and develop them, whether or not that is Dalvin Cook or Adam Thielen or Jefferson. Or
don't forget the head coach of the Buffalo Bills was his offensive coordinator when their best offensive years.
He showed they could actually get the team ready to play every week. I think Joe Judge quit. He was like, all right, let me show you how I quit. That was the NFL coach's way. I was saying, you can't fire me, I quit.
How did Joe Judge get the job anyway? Never was a coordinator, never designed game plans.
Special teams, right?
He was a special teams coach under Belichick, a guy who never tries any trickery or anything. So it was like, well, how the fuck he got the job?
Yeah, you just don't make mistakes on punt and kick returns. Don't get no holdings. Don't run out of bounds too long.
That's not enough for a head coaching job, dude.
They were so well coached.
Aaron, let me explain it to you, right? It's really 2 steps. Step 1, be white. Step 2, ask for the job. That's it.
I guess
the worst they can say is no.
Step 3, get a recommendation from Bill Belichick.
Yeah, seriously. I feel like Brian Flores was the one that they ended up the season on a winning streak. They were, competitive. They were playing good football. You're like, with this defense coming back and the offense kind of starting to find a little bit of rhythm. But you got a defense. Tua. I know he hated Tua, but they stuck with them. All right. The thing is that Brian Flores probably got the raw end of the deal. You want to be a good franchise. You don't fire and always change your leadership. It just causes more chaos, and it takes longer for your players to not be trying to figure out what the new coach wants and just go out there and play. But David Culley, I feel like, is the worst off at all this because they also waited a day after everything, everyone else got fired, and then you're like, oh, maybe the Texans will keep David Culley, give him a real chance, and then another day later, it's like, oh, the only nigga to get fired today was Mr. Culley, who didn't have a quarterback that had his back. That quarterback got in legal trouble and wasn't able to play all year, and so you're playing with a rookie quarterback or a journeyman quarterback the entire season with a team that's already been depleted through bad management. So let us show you how bad management continues. Let's fire a head coach. It was fucked up.
Unpopular opinion that John Gruden got the raw end of the deal.
You know what? Derek Carr got the raw end.
Wait, are you serious about that?
So here's the thing.
Yeah, I gotta hear this.
It's one thing if he gets caught up in some investigation where we actually see some results. But you telling me that 1 million emails in a toxic work environment. You know who gets fired on this whole thing? The coach for the Raiders. What are you talking about?
He was collateral damage. He was collateral damage.
To what? To what? Collateral you would have to say what collateral damage is. I was trying to aim at this thing and this person got it. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. They didn't hit anything. They only hit the guy. They only hit John Gruden. That was it. I'm pretty
sure that Roger Goodell, after reading everything about John Gruden and saying that they would not divulge anything else out of protection of the people that were in part of the investigation, I think he said this afterwards to distract everybody.
I don't think that Atlantis sank. I think Atlantis lifted off.
And then they just said, we're moving on with the rest of the NFL season, y'all.
Well, I think in the next coming years, when John Gruden gets his $100 million plus whatever he gets from the NFL, I think they're going to have to admit that he got raw into the deal in that situation.
I can agree. He's a douchebag. He got caught up with part of a scandal. He should have just been fired for, saying just for the scandal of being caught up in this. But there should have definitely, shout out to the NFL for being ain't shit motherfuckers and having the Cowboys play this Sunday and pissing me off. But fuck the NFL for not actually coming out with the rest of that investigation and having anything else happen.
Can we come up to a reason why was he the fall guy?
Everyone's got a fall guy because that's how that's every conspiracy, every great heist, every great grift and scam has a fall guy. You have somebody who falls. That's why you got the Epsteins and Ghislaine Maxwell's. You got all that going on. You have to have people that fall. People feel like when you get the massive, people feel like they get there.
Epstein was at the top of the food chain.
He was, but that was his booth thing, helping him recruit. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is you got to have the fall guys. You see them get publicly, chastised, get their comeuppance in public, and then quells the fervor of people wanting to get more out of it. And so that's how it works. You know what I'm saying? Right. Quell the fervor and move on, and that's what they did.
Yeah, man. It involved race, right? That was the main thing, right? Because in those emails, right, they had to have emails talking about whether or not they were going to sign Kaepernick and colluding with other owners about not just signing him or other players, right? Or colluding against other.
Well, here's the thing, Brandon. I believe they had those emails a long time ago about Kaepernick.
Oh, they've been trying to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Yep, they trying to.
Yeah, that's why they. I don't know why he settled for that 10 mil. I guess it was because he was trying to get back in the league but they had all kind of evidence against that.
It all comes down to them trying to cover it up.
I really don't want to talk about this over the telephone. Perhaps we could meet at a secret location.
Well, my pick, Matt Nagy should have been fired. Matt Nagy should have been fired 2 years ago with that simple ass offense he runs. He's running the same offense that Pittsburgh Steelers is running. All that shit underneath. Yeah.
5-yard hooks.
5-yard hooks, 7-yard buttons, 8-yard outs, option routes underneath the offensive line. That garbage offense, he should have been gone a long time ago. Now, my role in the deal was Urban Meyer. I love the way he coached. You got to look at the way he coached. He went out, he decompressed after a loss. He blamed people he should have blamed was his assistant coaches for not having them dudes out there working hard enough. And he allegedly went out and told his sorry, no good ass kicker, hey, I'm going to kick you again if you don't kick these balls through this upright. You're making me look bad, damn it. That's a real man. That's a real coach. It's a coach like I used to grow up with. I remember my coach in 10th grade told me, y'all don't win this game running these dive plays all the way down the field. You're going to come back. We're going to come back and y'all going to do crab walks. And then we did where you roll. Yeah, roll down the field. Yeah, the roll. I forgot what they called that.
I don't think they ever do that no more, man. It's fucking
no, but yeah.
You had Mr. Miyagi doing your football training or something?
Dude, we had the coaching they're so bad back in the day, man. He blamed us for losing the game 31-3 for running dives, running student body rights in straight dives all the way down the field. Nobody threw the ball.
So you have some of those coaches, right? So like some coaches, right? They believe in their scheme so much that the only reason it can't work is because it's your fault. And you realize, I called the dime. He's supposed to block it. It's supposed to work every time for 15 yards. If we don't get 15 yards, somebody fucked up. Not even considering that there's a defense there who knows the play's coming and somebody just might be better than you. Like, no, you need to block this play.
You know, if I was on that sideline today for the Cowboys, it would have been a totally different outcome. You know what I'm saying? Like a totally different outcome. Because I would have choked Kellen Moore for running a weak ass offense. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck are you running out here? And then I would have also slapped the shit out of some of the defensive players for jumping offside every goddamn 14th play. Hey man, guess what? It's 3rd down and 4. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna jump in the neutral zone. You want to do that again? Let's try it again.
Hey,
niggas
Brian Flores is available.
Brian, niggas holding on defense. Why are you holding?
Yeah, he did it twice too. I was shocked.
Holding the offensive lineman. Yeah,
he did it
they
twice.
called it hands to the face on a 3rd down, 12. Oh my God! It's like, what are y'all doing?
But yeah, and the sad part is they really did those penalties, Jared. It
No,
wasn't
they
like
did all to themselves. They played like some poop up motherfuckers.
Just no discipline. You know what they don't have is black leadership on that team.
Nope.
Brian Flores, man.
Yeah, you know what they need to call? They need to call this man.
It's Cowboy Chatana.
All right. Well, now we are going to be blessed with another installment of Mr. Varnado's Neighborhood, where Brandon gives us a story about what's going on in his neighborhood.
Oh, we're here for another installment of Mr. Varnado's Neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Brandon's got some neighbors. Could you shit in my yard? Oh, yes. Won't you be my nigga?
Man, with that song, Jared, man, I wouldn't even want to send my kids over to Brandon's house. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was all about happy feelings. Mr. Varnado Neighborhood sound like I gotta call John Walsh after listening to that song.
All right, Brandon, what do you have for us in Mr. Varnado's Neighborhood?
So, all right. So, for everybody who's not familiar, I moved from the Bay Area, California, to Durham, North Carolina. And something happened to me this like maybe 2 weeks ago, which I didn't realize was a Southern thing that people did, or a thing that people in the South were comfortable with. What happened was a fox got hit by a car out in front of the house right here on the corner, right? So this fox was just laying there dead. Now, I'm from a city. The city's going to handle that shit. I'm not going to go over there and touch a dead fox. I'm getting in the car, getting ready to take the girls to school one day. Somebody's looking at the fox. I was like, yeah, it's a dead fox. Yep. Went in the car, went about my day. I come back from dropping all the kids. Some dude has got a shovel and another dude's got another shovel. And they put this thing on the back of the truck. And I will tell you that over the next hour, 2 other people with trucks showed up to pick up that fox.
One fox?
And I was like, what is going on here? I was coming back home and I was sitting on the porch for a little bit. And somebody else with a truck kept driving, like circling around looking for it again. I was like, oh, let's pull something for this fox. And I was like, what were they going to do with this fox? So are they going to skin it? Going to make a coat? Were they going to eat it? I don't know what it was, but I just know my instinct was just leave it there until somebody else figured it out. A city official. But the person who picked up this fox was not a city official. They didn't have no government license tags. They didn't have a uniform. Like they just had two dudes with shovels.
and their sleeves were cut off in the snow.
Were they wearing overalls with cut off sleeve t-shirts underneath? Brandon, can you answer me this? Were they
saltine ass motherfucker?
I would say it's safe to assume that. Yes, I'm gonna confirm that.
Did they ask you, are you gonna eat that fox?
You gonna eat your cornbread?
Oh, Trevor.
You gonna eat your cornbread?
Well, I didn't know it was going to garner that kind of attention, right? It was like catnip for the rednecks. It was like, oh, there's a dead fox.
Was it like that scene in Little Giants where they were like, there's a new kid that moved into town?
And did anybody ask you, are you going to make a beanie out of that?
Yeah, it makes me wonder what the plans were for that. So yeah, that's what I got for y'all this week, man. South is different.
You know, you in the home of DIY, Brandon.
DIY.
Damn, I fucked that up. DIY, excuse me.
We also recommend DUI too. That's
you in there.
Moonshine.
It's not as bad as the magic moment Pedro had last week.
I'm speaking sarcastically, but
no, you're not, nigga.
Aaron's right. If you're in the industry to make money, you idiot. Why are you discriminating?
Discriminating? What'd you say?
Discriminating. I did not say discriminating.
I'm pretty close.
I'm pretty sure you said discriminating.
Pretty close.
No, you sitting up here. You probably heard that. Yo, that's your internet.
Cutty Corner shout-outs. Cutty Corner shout-outs. Cutty Corner shout-outs is the segment we end the show on where you get a chance to rant, complain, or highlight something positive in the world.
It's time.
We're burning now. God, if you let it in, hell, so cold and bleeding now, now. I'm in for it, man. Gonna let you down. He had sex with my mama. We're broken people now. I just said I need a backyard.
Aaron, do you have a Cutty Corner shout-out?
Yeah, my Cutty Corner shout out goes out to all this new cryptocurrency and other ways of making digital trading cards, NFTs. So let's start with NFTs. NFTs has been a big thing. People are buying these digital rights, digital art, and then they're trying to charge people to buy it off them or to use it at astronomical rates. One NFT that sold for like $6,000 is the one, what was it? Was it the banana or something painting? I forgot what it was. The person who bought it's trying to sell it for 17 G's now. People are like, oh man, I'm gonna take every video I made and turn it into an NFT, and then that person has the right. Who are the people that's buying this shit? That's what I want to know. Brandon, have you bought any NFTs? Do you know anyone?
I know a couple people who are trying to like create NFTs. I've got a couple people who bought NFTs, and the thing I always come back to is like, why can't I just copy and paste it to my computer?
Exactly. Look, I'm a brother that downloads stuff, so you go ahead and NFT all you want and be like, hey man, I'm gonna charge you for using it. Thinking of someone like Jared running the podcast Sound Bites is gonna buy it off, he already downloaded them too. And guess what? It's this thing that's very prevalent in the internet called pirating. Ask the porn industry. You can go ahead and try to keep everything you want. Look, I'm a person that's a different generation. I'm Generation X. I'm used to buying stuff. I'm used to buying CDs, buying tapes, buying my music. I don't even stream music. I don't like streaming music. I like owning the music I either buy it digitally or I buy the CD and then put it on my stuff through using the computer, right? But even with that, I still pirate all the other shit I want. I'm pirating this. I'm pirating that. I pirate some MMA. I ain't going to say which one because I don't want them coming after me. But Brandon sent me some pirate stuff that worked good. Rayon sent me one that worked great. High definition the whole time. No lag. Too bad it was just the British commentary I had to put up with. But it's like, dude, why the hell am I pay for some shit that I could go on Reddit and get for free? Why are people paying thousands of dollars for these NFTs? And now you got the video game industry. They're selling NFTs of like artwork that was made for the game.
Don't forget our Runaway Bride contestant, whatever, Mato. She was selling NFTs of her fart jars. NFTs of her fart jars.
It wasn't even an actual jar?
The fart jars. She was selling the physical fart jars. And then she felt like she had a heart attack. It was just gas and indigestion. So then they said, he's up on the fart thing. And then she's like, I'm going to sell NFTs of it now.
You just ran Pedro off talking about farts in a jar. Yeah, Jerry, here you go. I'm going to sell NFTs of this stitch that never dissolved that's sticking out of my belly button. I'm going to take a picture and start selling that. It's like, come on, man. This sounds like, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like Topps baseball cards when the bottom fell off.
It's like cryptocurrency. That's all it is.
No, I think NFTs eventually get there when the government gets on board. Because like when you talk about non-fungible assets, right? They won't be able to print baseball cards anymore. But if you had it digitally and say this is an authentic one, and somehow you connect it to Aaron Rodgers and he digitally signed it, that could be valuable to somebody who's into baseball cards, right?
No, I don't see that, Brandon. I don't see that.
And the same thing is just talk about transferring property from one person to another. Real estate gets into it, right? So you have a physical title.
But you're talking about things that have a physical connection, whereas the NFTs, there's nothing physical about it.
So what I'm saying is having something that's trackable, right? So the same thing that crypto or Bitcoin is built on the blockchain. Yeah. Having something that's documented that is really hard to hack is going to be beneficial to a lot of different industries.
All right, well maybe I don't
think buying llamas is going to be beneficial to anybody except for the people.
What about buying Chet Hanks's first original Jamaican accent voice that he did at that award show?
Did he have to buy that back from the TV cameras, the company that recorded him saying that?
That's true. He probably had to buy it first because they own the rights to it.
Well, I was looking about NFTs, right? So like Nike's getting into NFTs and the metaverse and all this other stuff, right? Where they're going to try to start selling digital shoes, right? So if you wanted some Jordan 11s, you'll be able to use them in the metaverse. You would also be able to connect it to your Fortnite.
That sounds like some
your
stupid
Call of Duty.
shit, dude.
You know what? I'm mad. Right-winger conspiracy theorists who's saying this is all a pandemic to get on this shit. Because this is pushing us towards the dystopian society where everything is digitally owned and manufactured and made, and motherfuckers ain't got no goddamn food. They ain't got no real motherfucking shoes on their feet. They ain't got no goddamn housing. Okay? I don't know why it's a pandemic. I ain't taking no vaccine. Them motherfuckers over here be like, but we gonna let them do all this metaverse bullshit and be able to NFT shit all the way goddamn Bitcoin shit all the way down to the goddamn poorhouse. We gonna let everybody be broke as fuck. Everyone gonna be living on top of each other in squalor, and the rich people gonna be like, man, I got the best non-hacking or the anti-hacking programming there is. So my shit, my assets are not liquid, but they are non-fungible either, but they there. What the fuck is going on?
This sound like some Ready Player One and some Wall-E mixed in.
Oh, it's getting there.
It's gonna get there, and that's the real dystopian side that's been written about. I'm tired of motherfuckers talking about other shit. You better tie it into this, because that's coming.
Thank you, Jared. I couldn't put it better.
Pietro, do you have a Cutty Corner shout out?
Yeah, real quick. My Cutty Corner shout out goes to brokers, racist brokers. Just this Friday, I tried to get a load out of Dallas, and I had ran into a freight broker. And I guess I was talking kind of cool or whatever, like I talked to y'all, like, hey, what's going on, y'all? Just trying to see if did you get this run covered going back to Phoenix? And see, what do you need? Can you use a reefer? Would that work out? And the dude in his, I guess, I want to say Indian accent. I'm not sure. He started to talk to me. He was like, oh, well, it's been covered, my friend. It's been covered, my friend. No glaze for you.
You want a glaze on that, friend?
It's been covered, my friend, right? So I was like, okay. I just kept looking, and I reset. You can reset the little thing. You look on the board, digital app. You can reset, to see who put stuff on the board that need to be moved. The same per call, refreshed, and put it back on the board. Then I noticed. After he said it was gone. Then he had also updated it on another load board. So I'd be damned if I wasn't racially profiled. Damn you. Whatever them white folks call you. I wanted to use the SN name on him because I was pissed off he racially profiled me.
Maybe he thought you was from Nigeria.
That reminds me of stuff that I heard on the Roy Woods job fair podcast. Talking about job scams, like how to weed out black people. And they had him spell things with an R in it because they figured out black people in the South say aura.
Aura.
And that's how they would disqualify you for a job interview.
There's also that one video where it's going around. The guy plays like his house being broken into. He's calling 911, and they're like, "Who's the greatest R&B?" They're like, a couple questions before we come. He's like, "Who's the greatest R&B singer?" He's like, "Justin Bieber." "Who's the best boxer in the world?" "Jake Paul." "Can you say ask?" And he's like, "Oh, axe." And they hung up on him.
Damn.
Pedro, you should have came on him like this.
Sick of you poaching my customers.
I'm sick of your crybaby bullshit.
You want to take the shit outside? You want to just take it outside and just squash it?
Let's stay inside so everybody can see what a pussy you have, okay? Because when I remove the blade I keep in my boot from its sheath, I can't return it until it has spilled blood.
Look, listen to me. You are fucking with the wrong nigga.
Hey, you're fucking with the wrong son, nigga, okay?
Brandon, do you have a Cutty Corner shout out?
Oh yeah, man. My Cutty Corner shout out goes out to COVID and the stupidness that is brought out of everybody. So I was ear hustling. Children ear hustlers, we listen to a conversation you're not supposed to be listening to, that nobody expects you to listen to. Also, that's another thing. I'm gonna start using more old slang because I'm tired of y'all young people bullying us into trying to use y'all language. Okay, so COVID. Cutty Corner shout out. So we're at my daughter's school, and we come to find out that the same kid has had COVID 3 times, has showed up to school sick 3 times, and shut down the entire classroom 3 times. Now, I don't know this kid's name, but I'm gonna find him. Number one, I'm at the school because school should just kick him out. Like, number one, the kid is coming here, giving everybody COVID, and shutting down the school for 10 days. Number two, what process are you talking about with this parent to say, hey, if your kid is sick, keep them at home? And if not, we're going to start imposing some fines. We're going to give out your phone number to the other parents in the school, something. Like, there has to be some sort of penalty for you continuing doing the stuff shit with us. And three, and it really bothers me that the school hasn't done anything about it, that the parents don't seem to be bothered by it, and that this kid keeps showing up to school. So that's my Cutty Corner shout out, man. Just people acting irresponsibly in light of whatever you think about it is, right? I was actually talking to somebody last week. It's like we can't agree on the basic facts. Is COVID a thing that we need to worry about? I feel like we need to get on that train first before we talk about all the other stuff. So number one, is COVID a thing? Because some people still think COVID is just the flu. Some people think COVID is just some random government conspiracy. And even if it is a government conspiracy, people still really getting sick with this government conspiracy. It's kind of like, I don't believe that the Crips own this neighborhood. But if you wear a red shirt in this neighborhood, you're gonna get your ass whooped. So if you don't wear the mask, you don't catch COVID, dude. If you don't get vaxxed up, you might get fucked up. Okay, it's the same idea. So my Cutty Corner child goes to COVID. Luckily, I have it this week. Luckily, it's not a big deal for me. Shout out to my gene pool. Cutty Corner shout out goes out to COVID and all the parents being acting irresponsible.
Yeah, I said it before. It's just the only reason why the CDC is allowing all that changing their mind every day or every other day is because they're afraid if you tell them the truth, people are going to panic. And the truth is, we don't need to be out in these streets. Bottom line.
The CDC will actually have you out here looking stupid because you can be on the CDC's website. You can listen to a lady on her weekly webinar thing and recite that shit verbatim at work. And then the next day they'll say some other shit.
They did.
It's just counterproductive to what you said the other day. I need the CDC to act more like a pimp named Slickback.
Did you know that at least 75% of bitches suffer from some kind of hearing loss? This alarming statistic means that more likely than not, talking isn't the most effective way to communicate with a bitch. That's when you have to hit her.
Whoa, what?
You tell her what you want her to do. If she say no, hit the bitch. Simple.
But I couldn't hit Sarah. I couldn't hit any woman.
Has not hitting the bitch been working? I mean, scientifically speaking, has not hitting the bitch achieved the desired result?
My Cutty Corner shout out.
Here we go.
Here it is.
Nigga here now.
It's a big one.
Goes out to the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys, sadly, the team that is my favorite football team, the team I follow most closely out of any sport, lost against the 49ers. The team that I hate and is the reason that spawned my fandom of the Dallas Cowboys in the first place. Dallas Cowboys played a terrible game. Undisciplined. You didn't have a creative offensive game plan. Yeah, you did a couple of trick plays here and there, but a creative offensive game plan is something that's going to be hard for the other team to stop. It's going to be hard for the other team to impose their will on you. You ran a game plan that allowed the defense to impose its will on you. You ran a game plan that was vanilla, like some Jason Garrett bullshit that we've seen in past years. So my Cutty Corner shout out goes to the Cowboys for being undisciplined. Mike McCarthy for not having that team better prepared to go. Dan Quinn, your defense, I'll give him. They played overall, except for all the fucking stupid ass penalties. Defense played all right. Offense scored 17 points. That's not winning football. Not winning football at all. You're touted as one of the best offenses in the league. Offense that was going to give teams problems. You didn't give teams problems when they hit you in the mouth and you had to execute. Part of that is play calling. So Kellen Moore, paper boy, milk boy, delivery boy looking ass motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I was happy when they brought you on. But right now, you're starting to plateau. You might have been Brandon's teammate, but you're plateauing hard at what you're doing. Somebody want to hire you, you know what? Go ahead and hire him. We'll get somebody else in here who can maximize what Dak Prescott can do. You got a quarterback that could be like Steve McNair. Steve McNair was not throwing comeback routes and out routes all the goddamn time. He didn't throw a bunch of that shit. He threw shit that was short routes at times, but crossing routes, seam routes. He attacked the middle of the field. If you don't attack the middle of the field, there's no point playing offense. You better hope you're playing a practice squad team like last weekend when y'all played the Philadelphia Eagles practice squad. Yeah, you can do that against a practice squad when your team has players that are just better, heads and shoulders above the opponents. That's not the playoffs. And then all these motherfucking penalties. You know, I'm done with this. I'm done with Jerry Jones. You a con man putting salt on goddamn breakfast sausages. He's like, man, it's already got about 114 grams of sodium in it. Let me add another, like, you know what I'm saying, several hundred grams of sodium to it. Old shaky hand bastard. I'm pissed. You play like some punk bitches in your own house. I'm tired of Cowboys fans looking. The Cowboys fans, y'all need to get. I'm tired of you praying to white Jesus in front of a national TV audience. Because you know how many memes you get turned into? I saw so many people holding it, praying hard, looking there crying, disheveled. Like, get your shit together, nigga. This is why your team ain't winning.
Praise white Jesus.
Stop being over here praying to white Jesus for some miracle to happen. You get punched in the face because you came out and you played like some idiots. It wasn't even about the physical game. That played a small role. It's about execution and scheme. And you lit them off the hook.
If you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
I will say that when Jason Garrett first got the job with the Cowboys, his nickname was Red Jesus.
No, Jason Garrett
was.
Man, Jason Garrett was a con man who fucking got Wade Phillips fired so he could become the head coach. And then all of a sudden, once they fired Wade Phillips that season, the offensive playbook opened up miraculously. All of a sudden, they was doing all kinds of shit. That was the most creative time you saw Jason Garrett was that. And then he went back to being a vanilla poo-butt ass motherfucker too. If you ain't gonna run no goddamn crossing route, you ain't gonna run your tight end on a corner route, you ain't gonna have fools running across the field and let them throw them open, then you ain't gonna win games. Fuck the Cowboys. God damn it.
Well, I got a question for Jared. Jared, do you think the Cowboys was hurt by, especially the second half, having that easy schedule with a lot of divisional games and having such a weak division that they never faced? Like, the beginning of the year, they had some tougher
I'm gonna tell you
opponents.
this. You can prepare. You can go to the gun range all day and practice shooting your gun. If you go to the gun and you don't pull it out, it don't matter. Run a crossing route, nigga. Another thing that pissed me off. You gonna come out. Zeke was playing through a partially torn PCL. Get the nigga off the field. I don't care if he can block on third down. You ain't running no crossing routes, so he don't. If you ran a crossing route, he wouldn't need to stay there and block. You know what you need to do? Get speed on the field. Make the Niners play D. They can't stop a dude who's a faster nigga than everybody else on the field. But you gonna be like, hey man, you know what we gonna do? Hand it off to Zeke who ain't got no burst no more because he's playing on a fucked up knee. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Hey, this is why I support player empowerment.
Brandon. Hey, Brandon, I didn't know that the crossing routes is going to become the new John Madden strafe. You know what a strafe button
do? It makes you go across the field, nigga. That's why it's important. I saw a reality show where it was just, I wasn't Hoarders. It was one of those shows where somebody had like the thing where they kept picking up roadkill and that was their neurotic thing they did. And, but I've seen other stuff about people who eat roadkill. So that's probably what they're going to do. They're going to eat it, maybe use the fur for something else. But I found a nifty article about the 8 rules about eating roadkill. Rule number 1 is make sure you're legally okay. You know, if it's a protected species, you need to notify the authorities before you take the body of the creature. Rule number 2, impact damage. The point of impact will determine how much wild game meat is salvageable, because if that motherfucker is all rung up, smashed down, and bones is chipped up all up in there, you probably don't want to eat it. So rule number 3 is clear eyes. If the eyes are intact and clear, the animal is likely a fresh kill. Cloudy eyes, hence the animal has been dead for some time. Hopefully it didn't have cataracts, because that might confuse you, but the eyes are one of the first things to rot. So make sure you look at the eyes. Rule number 4, stiffness in skin. Rigor mortis sets in within a few hours of death. This is not a deal breaker, depending on other indications or indicators. The steak in a butcher's glass counter has undergone the same process of decay or tenderizing. So the meat is still fresh, but you want to check it out. Make sure it's not too firm. It says pinch the skin of the animal unless it's a porcupine, to check to see if the skin still moves freely along the top of the muscles beneath it. If so, you're probably okay. Skin stuck to the muscle is a bad indicator. So if you can't really play with the skin, it's not like, a fresh, the skin is still moving around. That means don't eat it. Rule number 5, bugs and blood. Fleas feed on the blood of warm-blooded animals. Brush the hair on the carcass and inspect for fleas like you would your pet. If fleas are present, that's a good thing. Fleas won't stick around on a cold body. So if there's still fleas present on it, make sure they don't get on you and you take them home. But fleas and ticks will let you know that it's probably pretty fresh in death. Blood all over the road may mean there's too much damaged meat to salvage. And the color of blood present should be dark red, like fresh blood. Dark puddles of blood have been there a while. Flies and maggots is a bad signal, is a bad sign. That means you probably have, it's been there a while. Rule number 6, climate and weather conditions. Cold freezing temperature is ideal because that means that it's preserved better, but at warmer situations, it's going to decay faster. Smell, that's pretty obvious. If it's a putrid odor, leave it. But if it don't smell like much more than just a little bit of must, eat that motherfucker. And rule number 8, collection and processing tips. Build a separate roadkill kit. And that kit will allow you to be faster in scooping up your kill and preserving it. So make out a little kit that will expedite the process.
I'm gonna call old Jim Bob around the corner.
Yeah, I feel like somebody put out like
come handle my lightweight.
They got a town siren and hella motherfuckers heard the siren. Roadkill on Route 38.
Come on, exactly.
All right.
Dude, I just imagine somebody riding down the street saying, "Oh, is that a what? God damn it! I gotta go to work right now." But I'm back.
Motherfucker.
Well, that story about that process you gave, that little list, took away too much time off of my life. But that actually happened to me. One of the co-drivers, put a dead deer on the catwalk of my assigned truck. That was the one day I was so racist. I remember that.
Yeah. Man, he had to eat. He had to get him some venison, man.
Oh my God.